Cool that it's kind of coming from organic search in Google.
Yeah, this is purely organic,
Yeah.
like I said, because I didn't spend any money on ads on Google last year. So this is pretty encouraging. And some of them.
Hi, this is Nam from Easy Sunday Club.
And it's Cathy.
And today we're going to go into Easy Sunday Club's year in 2020 review. The best year of everyone's life.
Yeah, only go up from here.
Cathy made a beautiful infographic that she sent out to readers of her newsletter. And if you didn't receive it, then you should really think about subscribing to Cathy's newsletter. It's pretty awesome.
So I thought since I spent all this time digging into the data and building this infographic, we might as well share it with you. This is also an opportunity to kind of get in my head a little bit. So hoping you can take away from this some of the ways that you can look at your creative business if you have the data to track everything.
So I have the infographic all printed out. I'll show up different pieces as this video goes along. But basically the way that I think we are going to do it is I'm just going to put out a stat and I'll let Cathy react to it and kind of give me an explanation of what the heck she means by that stat and kind of what her learning or takeaway is.
Yeah.
Someone who taught me about data and analytics told me it's not just about the data that comes out of it. You want to get an insight of what you should actually do from a business perspective from that actual data.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you actually listening to what I tell you. To set the stage, we're going in this order, but it's broken up by 3 sections. One is kind of like general Easy Sunday Club online business stats. The second one is YouTube, the growth of our YouTube. And the third one is the things that didn't go well because, you know, it's
okay, cool.
2020 after all.
Am I on the part that didn't go well?
You'll see.
All right, cool.
You
So
mean you didn't read the newsletter? You're on my list.
So section 1 is stuff about Easy Sunday Club. In 2020, first stat, 91% of more people visited our online shop versus 2019. What does that mean to you?
That means we almost doubled our traffic to website, which is crazy. It's crazy because I didn't really do anything particularly different to drive traffic, to be honest. But considering that there are more people who went online for the first time and shopped online in 2020 with COVID and lockdowns, I mean, even considering that number is still astonishing. So it's pretty great. So the insight from that, which is not shared here, so not your fault, you're not saying is, even though my traffic almost doubled, my sales didn't. My online sales was actually up 67%. I didn't show this here, but that's the stat. What it means is more people are coming in, but it's not as high quality traffic. So my sales didn't increase the same amount.
So,
does that make sense?
Yeah. So what do we do next year to trick them into buying more stuff?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to try different things and see what sticks and look for us in 2021 year in review, right?
Yeah. So second stat is almost 1 in 3 came from Google. Why does it matter that 1 in 3 people came from Google?
It matters because it tells me where I should spend more time. So in 2020 and even in the years before that, I had spent a lot of my time and energy trying to market my art on Instagram. That's the most active platforms I'm in with my marketing efforts. But given that almost 1 in 3 came from Google, and that I'm kind of treating it as an afterthought right now, I should be spending more time driving traffic on Google. And what does that look like, right? I don't think I want to place ads on Google per se, but people are searching for certain things to get to Easy Sunday Club. So I need to look at that data and try to create content or try to like tag my images on my website correctly so that people who are searching for those words can get to my website.
It's cool that it's kind of coming from organic search in Google.
Yeah, this is purely organic, like I said, because I didn't spend any money on ads on Google last year. So this is pretty encouraging. And some of those traffic came from content that I made, 4 years ago. I just didn't put consistent effort into it, but that's something I'm excited to invest more time in this year.
Next thing is received orders from 46 US states. I think, long story short, we have coverage across the United States. But what are you going to do about those extra 4 states? We got to go visit them this year.
We got to go visit them this year, yeah.
Just kidding. Do you know what those 4 states are?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I can
I'm
kind of
curious.
guess.
I'm curious if it's like South and North Dakota or something like that, or
No, I
Alaska.
do have I have customers, a friend actually from South Dakota. So
Yeah.
well, yeah, I don't know what those four are. This is a caveat from this is that data is also came from it's a combination of my own website and Etsy. So with Etsy, I think I have more diverse customer base in terms of like number of states.
I'm gonna stick to geography just because it's related, and it says Easy Sunday Club art was delivered to 5 new countries, and
That's
those 5 new
exciting.
countries are Italy, Hungary, Chile, Japan, and UAE, United Emirates.
Arab
Arab
Emirates.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
brings joy. Every time I see an order coming from a country that I know I've never gotten before, like it just excites me because personally, I know you're like that too. We rarely buy products from outside of the US just because the shipping cost is hefty, right? And like it costs money, a lot of money to ship out of US too. So when someone's willing to spend like $20 to buy a baby blanket to ship to
It means they
Japan,
really freaking want it.
yeah, it's flattering, and no, I usually like put extra tender loving care into the packaging. I'll like handwrite notes, and a lot of times they don't order again, but it's just I don't know. It makes my day. So I put this in there more to spark joy in myself when I read it
Yeah.
than for it to be any like
Meaningful thing.
actionable takeaway. Yeah, it's not like I'm going to say we're going to double down on Italian traffic this year.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
Next thing is more than 1 in 5 customers bought more than once. So that's about 20% of your people. Do you mean bought more than once in the same year or lifetime?
Basically, like out of 100 people that bought something, 23 of them have bought more than once from my online store in 2020. I feel like it's a healthy number for me. Some of my products, like the baby blanket, does encourage a lot of repeat purchases because if they buy it for themselves, for example, and they like it, they want to send it as a gift to other friends who are parents. What it also tells me is that I should focus more on my existing customers as that base starts to grow more and more over the years. It is a lot cheaper to retain our current customers than to try to be out there like look for new ones. I like to put that number on there to remind myself to treat our current tribe well.
You showed your best sellers of the year. So one was the baby blanket, your oceans blanket, your calendar, snow owl print, and your mama turtle with baby turtle print. So when you look at the best sellers of your year, what does that tell you? What's your insight from that?
Well, out of the 5, it's interesting to me that 3 out of 5 were not art prints. Like I started Easy Sunday Club selling art prints, and I have the largest selection of art prints over any other product category. You know, the 3 that were sold best in quantity and in total amount were ready-made products or seasonal products like the calendar. It was my first time releasing the calendar, and I sold more than to this day, like almost 200 units, which is more than my expectations. Yeah, I don't want to jump to conclusion, but it does make me want to shift a little bit away from prints. Like I know I'll still paint them and make them print ready, but maybe that's not going to be a focus for marketing, for example.
Prints business is somewhat limited just because people have only so much wall space, or if they do have wall space, they don't want to cover every single inch of wall with
watercolor
art.
animals.
Yeah, and also they have to frame it and stuff like that. So cool, ready-made products are selling well, but the thing is, it takes a lot of time to develop, and then also operationally, it's harder to ship. Our profit isn't as good. Our profit margin from prints are really good, and we control all the manufacturing of it. That's why we continue to enjoy doing it, just because it's a good bang for the buck or bang for our time, Yeah.
And I definitely don't think I'm done with prints too. I think I needed to be more strategic and like carry better collections. I don't think I have been as intentional with it until I started building collections for my baby blankets, which in turn like create a collection for the prints. So yeah, I want to be more intentional, kind of look back at, instead of just looking at those 2 prints, maybe looking at my top selling prints and see what the trend is and try to create more like that. If it looked interesting.
Just observing from where I sit, it's like, okay, you have the bandwidth to make 1 new product a year, then in 20 years we'll have 20 products. So it's like
it's not a lot in this age where people want novelty and seasonal releases every holiday or whatnot. Yeah, sometimes it can be tempting to want to release things all the time, but we are bootstrapped, small business. Yeah, we just got to find that balance.
It says sold close to 200 of my first ever calendar, and you put in parentheses, this might be a yearly thing. Any thoughts now? We're in January. Do you want it to be a yearly thing? It just takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I think so. I think because it's in calendar form, people are like, no, I had never done landscape art or at least released them for sale before. And it seems like in this calendar form, people are more receptive to me trying out different subject matter. So I might use that as a chance to explore like different subject matter. Like this year I might do travel themes since everyone's been stuck at home for, it's going to be like almost 2 years by the time I release the next calendar. So I might do that or something else.
Yeah. And also the calendar is really good for our customers to figure out what date it is because they have no other ways of figuring that out.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, because this one here didn't think that I could sell any calendar because he's like, who the heck still uses calendar? I'm like, I don't use calendar, but people are asking for it. So let's see. It's like a functional art that they don't have to frame. And it's different every month.
I was just being facetious. Yes, it is good.
Yeah, I know you're being facetious, but I'm still setting record straight because some people can't tell you're being facetious.
Yeah, yes, it's good because for like the price of the calendar, you get 12 beautiful paintings, and you can like flip through it throughout the year depending on your mood. So it's like it's good value. Yeah, I get it.
Depending on your mood. I feel like it's April already. I'm gonna flip to April.
I'm a dad, dude. Let me have my dad jokes,
okay.
Please. All right, cool. Next is 42 was the most number of cards someone bought in a single order.
Yes, it came during my Black Friday sale. I didn't do a public Black Friday sale. I only ran a sale with my current customers, going back to treating my current tribe well. So I offered a attractive discount for people who have bought from me last year. And one lady placed an order for 42 cards and then almost immediately placed another order for print. Yeah, I was surprised. It's probably the most memorable order.
Always very grateful and blessed for people who really support Cathy's art. So pretty awesome. Next thing is, and last fact about Easy Sunday Club is $1,200 was raised and sent to COVID-19 relief and BLM organizations.
Yeah, this was made to show my subscribers kind of where my values lie. I did a couple of fundraisers as well as donated some of my revenue to these organizations last year to support the causes that I care about and also to provide relief for those creators who were impacted from the initial lockdowns of COVID.
Next part is exciting because this is how we've met some of you is through our YouTube channel. Yes. So here are some cool stats about our YouTube growth this year. So let me set the stage for our YouTube channel. So in 2019, we moved from Portland back to Los Angeles, where we are from, because our parents and my in-laws, her parents, demanded to see their grandkid and spend more time with her. So
yeah, they just want to see her. They don't want to see us.
Exactly. So you guys, some of you guys know how it is. I was working full time in Portland, and I moved back here without a job. And I decided to start up our YouTube channel again and see what happens if we release content more consistently. So we started in like October of 2019. We were like every other week, and then we ramped it up to every week. And from there, we kind of saw crazy growth. And these numbers kind of help tell the story of some of that growth.
None of our videos went viral, as you can tell from these numbers. They're still modest growth numbers compared to some of the channels out there. But to us, it's indication of what we're creating and what we're talking about is resonating with some of you out there.
From my perspective, I work full time now, but it's like a fun creative outlet. Let's get into the numbers. 37 videos are uploaded. And then hopefully this next year, we'll get to like 52 videos uploaded or even more. Next stat is we had 985,000 minutes watched in 2020. This is an 818% growth from 2019.
8 times growth.
To be able to be part of something that I put effort in and see like a return on and see that growth, it's like crazy. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes I calculate it and I calculate that like, people are watching our content 24 hours a day somewhere around the world or 48 hours in one day. Yeah. It's just like, it's kind of mind boggling and how big the YouTube platform is.
Yeah. And I think like at least 40% of viewers are from outside of United States.
Yeah. And
Yeah. If you are, let me know. Let
yeah,
us know
yeah,
in the
and
comments.
I like to help and teach and pass along information. I'm glad that I'm in a position that I can kind of do that again, because it feels really good to give back.
Yeah, it's rewarding for
Yeah.
sure.
Next thing is 3,714 new subscribers gained, which is good. We have a goal this year to break 10,000 subscribers. I think we can do it based on our current numbers, but
Yeah, we can do it.
I remember the first metric that we had to break was 1,000 subscribers to get our channel monetized. At one point, it felt like a huge mountain to climb, but then
Yeah.
the key to YouTube was just consistency, and it happened. And then from a business perspective, we created 3 new income streams. If I were to break down the income stream, one is traditional YouTube ads. Second was Amazon affiliate. So if we put Amazon links on there and people click on it and buy something, then we get a portion for directing that traffic over to Amazon.
The third is digital products, which I
Yep.
only have one right now. I have a very affordable $5 greeting card template. In my video where I was showing a tutorial of how to create a greeting card video, a couple of people asked if I could create one and that they were willing to pay for it. So like, okay, people ask for it, let me create one, and yeah, just charge a small amount so that I can keep track of, email list of customers. The second one, the affiliate, it does include a few other affiliate sources. Amazon is our biggest one, but if you guys are interested in like behind the scenes of our YouTube, we can do a video on like a earnings report on our YouTube channel, like some of the other channels do, or something.
Yeah, just
Might
leave
be
a comment
interesting.
in below. That kind of directs us on what content to make in the future. Sometimes I do worry that it takes us away from our business, my day job, or being like a present parent. But at the same time, it brings joy too. So we try to balance it out with like all of our other responsibilities.
Good thing our child makes it impossible for us to shoot while she's present. So
Yeah.
we're never juggling
Yeah.
parenting and shooting at the same time.
Let's get into all the bad news. How we like totally screwed up this year. 2 failed launches, and those were baby toddler teas and kids watercolor Zoom classes. And what you lost as a result was 24 hours of prep time, and you made $30. So what does that inform you? Why did you waste our time and resources?
Hour. It was all my prep time. Well, both of those things happened during I call like my COVID panic time, when around spring last year, where I thought that my business was going to go underwater and I needed to pivot, maybe start making masks. I didn't end up making masks. I offered a kids Zoom class, and I was looking into doing like print on demand baby toddler onesies and tees with my own designs on it. And long story short, due to like logistical issues that these printing companies are facing during COVID, it kept getting delayed to the point where I just said like, forget it. It's not worth it. And then with watercolor class, only one person enrolled, so I made $25 from that one enrollment, and then the other $5 was from someone who bought one tee, so I made like a $5 profit from it.
Yeah.
All in all, like I'm not saying I wouldn't do them ever again, but I would say I think I was scrambling to find new things without zooming out and looking at like what makes sense for my business at the time. And people are still buying my art online.
Silver lining is when you're miserable, when you do things that are quote unquote failures, it's not always a bad thing, because it kind of informs you what you like, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not good at. And that kind of like directs you to your strengths and where you can double down. So like, it's good to know that, hey, like baby and toddler teas don't necessarily bring me joy. Watercolor classes with a bunch of kids who can't focus, we would have to spend so much time marketing, and then also actually when you get the kids there and you try to teach them, is it going to bring you enough joy? Is there a better way to scale painting? So it's like it kind of gives you different ideas. So
yeah, it was definitely the best way to learn that
Yep.
these things wasn't right fit at the time. But yeah, like you said, there aren't just pure failures. I always learn something from it.
Next is the COVID effect. So 42% decline in wholesale orders due to store closures, and a few closed permanently. So tell me
Yeah.
about that.
42% is a lot, because wholesale was a significant amount of my sales the previous year. So to lose 42% of that was detrimental on its own. Good thing my online sales did experience a surge, so I was able to recover a lot of it. And because my online orders had higher profit margin, I was also able to recover a lot of it. But it's still sad to know like a lot of these store owners and buyers are people I have personal, friendly, professional relationships with. Some of us we would call friends. So to see them having to shut down their business when brick and mortar sales is kind of their bread and butter was sad to see. Like I still had, my online portion that could keep me standing up, but for them, like they had to really pivot quickly to get online, and they were still responsible for rent and their staff, etc. So yeah, this is a number that is probably the hardest to.
And we lost thousands, if not tens of thousands of lost sales from not being able to attend holiday fairs that we usually go to, summer fairs, and where we sell directly to customers due to event cancellations and it not being safe. I would call out the silver lining.
Is that we didn't catch COVID.
Yeah, yeah, that we didn't catch COVID. Also, silver lining is that it freed up a lot of time not having to fulfill wholesale orders, having to pitch to new shops, having to go to fairs, getting sick from fairs because, we're shaking hands and kissing babies and stuff when we go to fairs.
Who's kissing babies at fairs?
My baby, I guess.
Besides your own.
Yeah. Kind of saved a lot of time, bandwidth, physical energy because fairs, you got to load up your car and set up everything up, and you have to be there the whole day. And with that extra time, it allowed us to explore new things and
like making these YouTube videos.
And spend time with our family or with our kid, help explore different aspects of the business that we didn't necessarily have the bandwidth to do before because we're always like packaging wholesale stuff or something,
Yeah, I agree.
So the next stat is for 18 weeks, your bestseller was out of stock, which is your alphabet blanket.
Yeah, which was my number one seller despite the 18 weeks.
What did you learn from that?
So in a regular year, I would have planned my inventory better. I would have known that when I was short in stock on my bestseller, I need to start placing a reorder. With this one, I also went through a minor redesign, so I had to complete the redesign before sending it in to my production partner for sampling. I think it was also aggravated by the unknown, which is like I didn't know if I wanted to front this money into buying new inventory if I could go out of business in 2 months. I guess by saying that, I'm trying to give myself more grace that this was unforeseeable mistake, but at the same time, I also need to believe in myself more and know that this thing has been selling well. People aren't gonna all of a sudden stop having babies. They aren't gonna all of a sudden stop supporting businesses as much as they are financially able.
It drove me crazy that the alphabet blanket was sold out and we couldn't make sales on it. One observation as a non-artist, I see an artist of them not fully believing in themselves all the time. And sometimes they're their own harshest critic. And Cathy had this feeling of, I don't want to overbuy the blankets because it might not all sell through. Whereas I believe in her so much, I'm like, double down. I don't care if it takes us 2 or 3 years, we'll eventually sell through it. But I believe that Cathy needed to go through this to send a signal to herself that, no, I can take risk in this area and that I can make this investment in myself and it will pay off. So if this is what needed to happen, then great. I had to learn to work through that and be patient and let Cathy go through her process. Last call out is hit several productivity lulls because I was wearing too many hats and feeling anxious about the uncertainties.
Well, like I said, I was thinking about pivoting. I was thinking about whether my business was going to stay afloat, trying to think of like different income streams. Now, all in all, we created 3 new income streams. We stood up this successful YouTube channel. We're able to build a small community, and e-commerce is not going away. If anything, it's accelerated its boom. So we're in a good place, all things considered.
So let's look forward to 2021. So this is actually the last section, the 4th section, right? So the first focus for 2021 is delegate, hire help so I can create more art and content.
Maybe it took me too long to learn that I can't do everything myself. I think I'm probably hiring a little too late, but last year I started hiring help for different aspects of my business. Also, one thing that I didn't recognize was that whenever you hire new people, you needed a few months initially to kind of onboard them. and train them to understand your business, especially since you've been doing everything yourself. Sometimes not everything is set up to be like transferable to a third person. They don't know where all your files are, or like how you package things, or like where you even put those packaging materials, for example. So there's just a lot of little things and kinks to iron out, and I'm looking forward to making that process more streamlined and hiring different people with different expertise in different domains so that I can paint and create more content, because at the end of the day, I'm starting this business so that I could create more art.
Last thing is simplify your product lines and processes, do more of what works, deprioritize everything else. So what do you mean by that?
This really sums up all the stats that we've shared here. You know, it has to do with looking at my bestsellers and taking out all the ones that didn't sell that well or didn't sell at all, because at this point they're just distractions on my website that is causing people confusion and paralysis when they're looking through those pages. It means looking at where my traffic and sales is coming from, doubling down on the products that are selling well, doubling down on things that I'm good at, that I enjoy doing, doubling down on hiring people in the right places I need help with, doubling down on YouTube, sharing what we know. Any more doubling down?
You can't double down too much because there's only one of you. So.
That's why I'm doubling down on delegating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think both of us don't like to brag about ourselves. Like, we often don't even like toot our... It makes us uncomfortable to like talk about our own accomplishments, but...
I am the best at not bragging about myself.
Yeah, me too. I'm the best at humility. I think just by being ourselves and sharing our experience and what we know, we found that it can create value to people who are just a few years behind us, right? And one thing I want to double down, last thing I want to double down in 2021 is just being more confident and being more unapologetically myself and ourselves, and know that both of us combined have 2 decades of work experience in like different corporate law environment, with our education and with my 5 years of doing this business. Like, we have a lot to share, and we really want to help more people succeed, because I think the creative entrepreneurship world needs more people who can prove that they can make it.
Things that I want to focus on is just still be consistent. So I want to continue to release good content once a week, partner with Cathy to work around our parenting schedule and our day job schedules to write, shoot, edit, and release good content. So I think that will be my main goal. That was our 2020. Of course, there'll be a peaceful transition to 2021, and nothing bad will happen this year like it did last year. So I'm really looking forward to 2021.
Oh yeah, everything's gravy right now.
Yeah, I will not live to regret those words. So let us know what you think about our 2020. If you are interested in receiving cool information like that, sign up to Cathy's newsletter or her mailing list. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to support us and get more content like this.
If you want to hear us ramble some more, subscribe.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for watching.